Hello, greetings and salutations. Welcome back to the BFC and Happy New Year to all of you. Before we get started, hit the subscribe button. And if you have a Rumble account, the BFC is now on Rumble. Give the Twitter a follow too and check out the Patreon to earn your merch. And also, don't forget to click on the MooMoo link for free stocks. It's all down in the description below. Let's build this BFC community in 2023. So without further hesitation, I have joined with me today the new CEO of Integrated Cannabis Solutions, Eugene CAIAZZO. Gene, welcome to Buffalo Fireside Chats.
I'm very happy to be here.
All right, let's get right into this. Many questions about things in the works this year, share structure, acquisitions, as well as funding. Let's start with you, sir. What has been your role at Integrated so far, and how do you feel about your present role as CEO?
Okay, easy enough. I was a director when Integrated acquired Consolidated Apparel. So I've only been a director for about 3 months. And frankly, there's not a lot different being the CEO. I run my business day to day. We've got the cannabis side. We've got Tom out there running his business. It all works. The only thing that's really different is the SEC reporting, which is exciting. But thank God we've got a great team of lawyers, great team of accountants, and they're getting it done. Never in the time frame I want, but they're getting it done. And I understand it. You know, it took me a little bit to wrap my arms around it, but I get it. You all need to know everything. There can't be any dangling participles. So I'm enjoying it. It's actually helped me in my day-to-day business.
Great. Hey, so there were concerns with professionalism at the top. There were some tweets flying back and forth a couple weeks back. Tensions were getting hot. Is there going to be a noticeable difference of tone, and what can we expect from you moving forward?
Okay. Yeah, I even made notes on this a little bit because, you know, I don't know what happened with Matt in the past. Matt Dwyer was the previous CEO, and there sounds like there's some bad blood. And, you know, if there is, I've never experienced it. Matt has agreed, just when I say stay on, to help me during this transition period through the end of January. But when I work with them, I get nothing but professionalism from them. With that said, IGPK Consolidated, we're in the people business. And I look at every shareholder as a partner. I have to communicate with them. I can't communicate and be the CEO with each and every shareholder. But we do plan on, within the next coming weeks, if not days, there'll be an entire portal for the shareholders. They will be allowed to ask their questions. I will ask them, and I'll answer them as quickly as I can. I only ask the shareholders to try to keep it to email because the phone has exploded since this has happened. And everybody wants share value. I want share value. If the value goes up, obviously it's good for all of us. It's a great situation, but they should find that there'll be more communication, open communication, without crossing any lines that shouldn't be crossed.
Great.
They'll know where the company's at.
Good. That's what I want to hear. Definitely. A lot has been said about the supermajority voting rights held by Matt. Continuing on that path, and anyone working for the company is his puppet or whatever. So since he holds all the strings, how can you assure the shareholders that this will not be the case and that you will totally drive the company without him?
Okay, this one I needed notes for because Matt does own the majority of Series A preferred. And I think someone else owns 1,500 shares. I'm not sure. But he also owns all of the Series C preferred. I can tell you, I wouldn't take this job unless I could run the company as I see fit. While I'm named CEO, I'm more of a COO. I'm all about operations, seeing them run lean and mean. Matt's not an adversary of the company. Matt's in a position right now that if the company does well, Matt will do well. So let's be clear. We have the framework of an agreement that we should be able to share with the public. to make sure, and that framework right now is sitting with counsel, just making sure we haven't done anything wrong. But it will allow me to run the company and vote the Series A and C as I see fit. And that takes Matt out of it. As long as, I can vote those shares, which is one of the agreements of why I came on, I'll be happy. We can run this company as a collective team of shareholders and directors and employees see fit profitably. That's what we're looking for.
Okay.
So he should not be able to vote his shares. We're hopeful. I don't think council's got too many questions on that, but let them dot the I's and cross the T's so that we're all in good shape. I don't want any surprises.
Yeah, rightfully so. All right, let's talk about Twitter. I know there were a lot of people blocked on Twitter from IGPK.
Twitter's in the news.
I know, right? Questions related to progress, share price, and there were a lot of people were hammering Matt a lot. Can those accounts be unblocked? I know that was a question posed by a Twitter user, and so I wanted to give that question to you.
Okay. Frankly, Twitter was Matt's baby. I'm busy running a company, and tweeting isn't necessarily my thing, although I guess it's going to become my thing. It's an easy way to communicate with shareholders over a wide network. I don't know what happened. Okay, I'm a little new, but it is a great platform. Like I said, I'm getting up to speed on it. If someone was blocked, and I want to make this clear, once we have the shareholder website up, anybody who is blocked can reach out to me to ask for consideration to be unblocked. If there was vile and reprehensible behavior on that shareholder's part, I'm probably not going to unblock them. There's no reason for name calling. But if they were blocked, I'd be happy to unblock them. Just, hey, we're all humans here. We don't have to deal with the ugliness. So that's where I'm at. Anybody who's blocked can certainly ask to be unblocked, and I would absolutely consider it. And if I don't unblock them, I'll hopefully be able to point to, hey, this isn't acceptable. You can email me privately, but not on a public forum.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I'm a person who likes to keep it positive myself. And I know, even being in the OTC, there's a lot of mudslinging. It's just what happens sometimes. So thanks for responding to that Twitter user on that. All right. So let's get into the nuts and bolts of operations. Let's talk about the business itself. How many people are currently on the board, and do you see that number expanding in the future?
Well, currently there's 2 people on the board, Manny Lasada and myself, and I respect Manny to no end. He's been a great help and a great advisor to the company. The pending transaction in California will allow them 1 seat on the board, and in addition to that, from what I understand from counsel, is we do plan on moving to the QB. And if we move to the QB, assuming we can trade at a penny for a month, we will be required to add 2 more outside board members. So yes, the public can look forward to the board expanding over the coming months.
Okay. Awesome. On December 6th, Oleg Taktarov was announced as, I hope I'm saying that right, he was announced as a new advisor, and I always mess up last names. And he was announced as a brand ambassador as well. Can you describe what his role is more specifically, and could you see his role expanding in 2020?
Oleg is a brand ambassador. The consolidated portion of IGPK, which is the apparel division, has been considering an entry into athletic apparel as it pertains to exercise, for lack of better words. And we're talking to Oleg about that. My plate's been reasonably full over the holidays, so I haven't talked to him as much as I should. But we're looking at him to, A, be a brand manager or a brand ambassador, and to advise us on what might or might not work in the athletic marketplace. Think, pre-workout, post-workout kind of apparel. That's what he's doing there.
Okay.
And he's a lot of fun. I love the accent.
Thank you. Before we get into pending acquisitions, which I'm sure you have much to share, I would like to talk with you share structure. Right now, you guys have a 1.5 million market cap, 2.65 billion authorized shares, and 1.9 billion, little less than that, outstanding shares, with 251 million of those being restricted. Does Integrated plan on adding to the outstanding share count, and do you guys plan on initiating a reverse split anytime in 2023?
Okay, for this one, I got notes. I got notes. Let's see. The AS, we plan on leaving alone. There's no reason to touch it. The OS, IGPK, has announced a Reg A, which we will like to file to sell 300 million shares at a penny and a half. And we still have that desire. That'll be important for the growth of the entire division. The funds and current plans for the company are consolidated in Cannabis. It gives good inroad into the potential operations in the Bahamas. And plus, by doing that, we wipe out a fair amount of our long-term debt, which is, I think, really important. Not a fan of debt. I don't like that at all. As for a reverse split, here I have to agree with Matt. It is not needed. Matt has said that. I agree with that. Sorry, somebody just pulled up to my driveway. There's no need for it. The size of the float is smaller than most other tickers. Many of them trading at higher levels with convertible debt on the books and no revs at all, no revenue to speak of. We touched off on that earlier. And convertible debt. So we have no convertible debt, right? The high level, all I can say is the board wouldn't even consider a reverse split right now. It doesn't make sense for the company. Doesn't add value to the company. And ultimately, if it doesn't add value to the company, it doesn't add value to the shareholders.
Okay. I mean, what are you guys going to do? I mean, this was a later question I had for later, but you just touched on it now. So, to that penny and a half for those convertible notes, when do you see timeline wise that happening? I hate to put a timeline on it for you, but like in the perfect world, when do you see that happening, and to what ends are you guys going to get there? What means are you guys going to get there? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's an exciting one. Let me get my notes on that one because the convertible note's exciting. Yeah, they are. Of course, they're always where they don't belong. You know what? Let's get back to that one in a minute.
Okay.
Because like I said, we plan on selling 300 million shares at a penny and a half. We still have this desire.
Yeah. Yeah, we could come back to that one. That's fine.
We have, excuse me, did you ask when we're going to do the convertible debt?
Yes.
There is no convertible debt.
Okay, there is none.
There is no convertible debt as of 12/31/2019.
Okay, that is clear for that question that was submitted to me. There is no convertible debt. There you go. You heard it here first. All right, let's keep moving on here.
We have revenue and no convertible debt. I think that's appealing.
Yeah, that's very appealing, especially with a very low market cap of 1.5 million. Let's keep going here. In early November of 2022, Integrated announced that they would acquire 3 operating entities in the cannabis space. It stated that those 3 had a combined revenue of $500,000 a month. Those entities were Houdini Labs, GCTR Management, and the Tahoe Group, with the Houdini Group having a potential of 1.5 million in gross monthly revenue and 400,000 net income during a single shift. GCTR ended up not making the cut. Could you describe in detail what each acquisition brings to the table, their present revenues, and projected annual revenues for 2023?
Okay, so The revenue, I can say, as stated, is over 500,000 a month. This is all I have for now. I will need, we're waiting for audited statements to come to make it true. And as outlined in the Reg A, the California operations can grow to a combined monthly revenue of $1.5 million. So the Tahoe Group operates as a distributor of cannabis. It's a delivery service and also light manufacturing. The license is owned by the Tahoe Group and allows the company to operate in 3 areas. Delivery. The delivery aspect is non-operational yet. It's waiting for funding. Phoenix Delivery acts like any other delivery service. Products are ordered, products are delivered to the house, the office, or wherever they are. Delivery companies are, as they're virtual dispensaries. No storefront, no nothing. Customers can't come and pick up anything. Then there's Genesis Distribution. Genesis Distribution, and I gotta read this one because I want to get it right. It's a swift, safe, and secure cannabis products distribution company. So what it does is it delivers the products to the brick and mortar stores. The dispensaries you see popping up on every corner, they're a delivery company for them. Also, we're fully compliant on that one. We use a lot of state-of-the-art security. It's an interesting business model. I've learned a lot, actually. Pretty interesting. It will be focusing on sales planning, pricing, promotion. I mean, we deliver to buying decisions that our brand partners want. We don't want to be in the retail aspect of it. We don't want brick and mortar stores. We're strictly a delivery company there. And then you have the Houdini Group, Houdini Labs. And Houdini is a California cannabis extract company. It develops, manufactures quality THC products. Concentrates. That's the fastest growing segment we see. I mean, the whole segment is exploding. We continue to team up with some of the largest brands in California while pushing purity limits. Everything I'm involved with in my entire life, you have quality versus price. We are not in any of our business models looking to be the low price leader. We want to deliver a quality product that our customers, whether it's a shirt or cannabis oil, or we're doing a delivery, we're looking for people and customers who appreciate the value add that we bring in all of our products. Just want to be clear about that. That's where we see ourselves. The Houdini Group is really cool, though. When they fully scale up, they can process 1,200 pounds a day of cannabis. They use ethanol and CO2. I got to look at notes because watching this process was really cool because it's always developing. Additional production capacity will be accessible when the new butane, right now they use CO2 and ethanol, but butane extraction is coming now. And they'll be heading into butane. And pretty much all we do is processing, bulk crude, and ultra high grade THC products. I mean, from what I understand of that marketplace, the content of the product that we produce blows everybody else out of the water. Wow. And hopefully that'll have value. From what I understand, it does. And a lot of it.
One would think so, right?
Yeah, I'm not a sampler of the product. It's not my thing.
Yeah, trust the people that sample it. That's
it.
Sure.
I wear the shirts, but I don't.
Oh, man. So are there any other acquisitions in the early process of due diligence at this time?
Growth through acquisition is exciting. There's always something on the table. And as exciting as growth through acquisition is, organic growth is the coolest part. When you've got something, it's a mustard seed and it can grow into a mighty tree. So yes, we're looking at stuff, nothing I can talk about right now. And when I do, it'll make sure all the shareholders hear it loud and clear. But we're focused on both organic and acquisitional growth. Those are, that's the only two ways you grow. And quality acquisitions. We look at margins. We look at, we don't want to fix everybody's problems in the world.
All right. Going back to integrated for a second. How many states is integrated serving now with their products? Which one specifically? And where
say that again?
Integrated.
Yep.
Which states are they serving right now?
California. Okay. I mean, if we're talking about consolidated, which is the apparel division, the apparel side ships shirts all over the United States and internationally, heavily in the Caribbean and Latin American region. But I think you're probably thinking about integrated more than anything, the cannabis side. Right now, the cannabis operations are only licensed in the state of California, and it won't expand beyond California. There's no reason to. California is plenty big enough of a market. Delivery operations, that'll be interesting, assuming all the funding goes through, we should be looking at revenues and delivery by Q1 of this coming year. So that'll be exciting.
Going back to the apparel thing, why is integrated looking to expand into the Bahamas? I mean, how does it fit? How does it fit in?
The Bahamas.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
Well, yeah, and it seems like a tough sell to get the apparel into the straw markets to sell to tourists. Okay. But I mean,
it's very interesting. And I mean, I've been to the Bahamas and I've met with a lot of the people in the Bahamas. We've already looked at buildings and everything there. We've met from the Port Authority. The consumption of shirts in the Bahamas is spectacular. They have a population of about 250,000 people spread out all over the place. They consume 200,000 shirts a month through all of the tourism. The majority, vast majority, are all imported from China. We have met with the Port Authority. We've met with the people in the Bahamas. We've met with the trade schools. And what's on the table for the Bahamas is really interesting. The consolidated portion is well versed in cutting and sewing and adorning apparel. We can bring that to the Bahamas, and the Bahamas, so far the people seem really enthusiastic about this idea, is we can bring manufacturing, which is very little manufacturing that goes on in the Bahamas, and employ their people. Employment's a real problem in the Bahamas. For lack of better words, become the Bahamas house brand for shirts. So that's what we're looking at in the Bahamas. It's a closed marketplace. It's isolated, but it needs jobs. And they really are embracing the idea of us bringing a full-scale operation to the Bahamas. That's why the Bahamas. It's also closely located, so I can get there in 30 minutes.
I'll step and a jump away.
That's it. Yeah, it's really just the neighborhood.
I'm going to go back to financials.
And the vocational schools are on board. We'll train our people. They'll do everything. I mean, they're really excited about it. I'm excited about that one because not only do we bring a product, we bring an industry, which is really cool.
Good. I really hope that works out, because
I do too. We've talked about cannabis over there lately, and anything's possible, but the apparel side of our business is a no-brainer for over there. It'll be a slam dunk.
Yeah, until I started digging, I didn't even know that was a part of the business. So that's
a lot of people don't know.
I learned. That's something I learned.
The apparel side is, some of the greatest. As far as revenue goes.
Yeah.
We're there, baby. It's where it needs to be.
And I wish you success in the Bahamas. I hope that works out great.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
I do want to go back to just talking financials for a second. Do you guys plan on becoming fully audited as you expand your operations and build your revenue stream? And I'm not going to give you a timeline for that, but could you expand upon that process and how you see it?
Well, we are fully audited. Do we plan on it? We've been fully audited since 2019.
Boom.
Okay. And we've been SEC reporting since June of 2021. So do we plan on it? Yes. Done. Asked and answered. In October, we closed the consolidated deal. Next week, we'll be able to release this in an 8K as well. And you know,
you're really crushing a lot of FUD here. I like it. That's why I love getting you guys in on here, because you get to really address the misinformation out there, which is great. So you heard they are fully audited. They're fully SEC reporting. Isn't that something? When you guys do a little due diligence, goes a long way.
I mean, we've been removed from shell status with the OTC. So I mean, we're operating. This isn't a it's a real business. It's a real business. If they want, they can go online and buy all the shirts they want.
That's right. So, looking at the dream revenue forecast for 2023, what are you doing, to not only achieve that 1 cent share price? I know the markets, you could do everything in the world, as we were talking off camera, and the market is going to do what it's going to do. You have companies that have hundreds of millions in revenue, and they've had a 6-month complete retracement. And, we're in the market that we're in. But what are some things that you are doing to really work towards that 1 cent goal that you guys have had? And not only that, but what is your revenue forecast in that you would like to see in 2023?
Well, this is what I can tell you. Consolidated as an operating entity by itself, with no assistance from all our partners, shareholders, will experience in the area of 10% organic growth the way it sits today. There's a lot of plans that can increase that growth to well over 30% with modest investments. So that's the consolidated side. As for the share price, all I can do is run a healthy, honest business, present it to the public, and in the end, they're the arbiters of what the price will be. I'm not the arbiter of that. Believe me, if it was up to me, it'd be at 10 cents.
Right. I'd be fine with that.
I also, to the end of a penny price, I think communication's a big issue. I don't think the public is aware of all of the machinations of the company. It's not because anybody was trying to hide it. I just don't think it was well communicated. Like you asked, are we audited? Heck yeah, we're audited. When do we plan? We don't plan on it. We are. So I think communication and putting out the value proposition into the public will help the share price. They'll understand it. It's an ongoing concern.
Yeah. All right. Let's do. I have 2 more questions for you.
Yeah.
So cannabis companies, and this is something, and a lot of what I'm giving you today are questions that have been given me. So, if you are a shareholder and you're enjoying this interview, which actually we got this together in the last couple of days, which is pretty cool. Please hit the subscribe button and let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. So I'm glad to be able to do this, and I am a shareholder. I do have more than 500. Yeah, 500,000 shares. So. Listen, cannabis companies, this is one thing I hear. There are a dime a dozen these days, especially in New York.
Absolutely.
Where I work, there's 20 dispensaries within 2 square miles. So due to the lack of moat in the cannabis industry, what is your plan for setting yourselves apart from the competitions you face, and why integrated?
I touched on that in the beginning.
You did.
In terms of it's the value proposition of the company. Much like Consolidated, we're in apparel. We're in a niche that we believe no one can compete with us. And as far as cannabis is concerned, we talked about the different niches we're in terms of each company out there, whether it's oil production or delivery and all of that. In the final analysis, it's all about delivering a kick-ass product at a reasonable price and doing it every day nonstop. So that's where we're at. We're not looking to be the biggest and the best. We have our little niches we're focused on. We believe we can bring value to those niches and ride the wave of growth that is happening in that industry.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. Gene, do you have any closing thoughts you'd like to share with the shareholders or potential shareholders?
Yeah, I do. I want the shareholders to understand that as goes their value, so goes mine. We're inextricably linked at the hip. And I love what I do. And I hope I get to do it for them. I may not be able to meet them all. I've met you today. I can't meet them all in person. But whenever I get the opportunity to shake their hands and thank you for being part of the company, I welcome their input. I welcome their criticisms, as well as their lauding, assuming we're doing what we should do. I welcome their ideas. I ask them to realize that they want me operating this business on a day-to-day basis, moment to moment, hour to hour. So please be kind, time sensitive when you put your ideas, thoughts in an email or a phone call. And if I'm rushing, it's not because I'm rushing because I don't like them. I'm rushing because I've got 1,000 of them that I need to make money for. And the company is excited to do it. We have a whole team that's really excited to be part of the public, and we're looking forward to it.
Right on. Gene, thanks for coming on the BFC.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it, and I hope I've cleared up some misconceptions, and looking forward to it.
Well, I definitely look forward to speaking with you again in the coming months, and
Absolutely.
You're always welcome back. Listen, guys, don't forget to subscribe so I can keep this content coming. And if there's a CEO or marketing director or company representative that you think I should try and get on the BFC, I love doing these interviews. I love sitting down with people that are in the trenches of the business world. Throw your ideas in the comment section below. You all have a great new year. And remember, there's more that binds us than breaks us. You guys have a great, great new year. Peace.